Okay.
So I think we gonna have some late comers today, but that's okay. I don't talk about any companies or products, but I will tell you this, that I did start with the company I've been with now for 25 years by sponsoring 4 distributors. And those 4 distributors now have grown to over 1,400,000. And it's, basically 95% of all those people came from the original 4. So that's got to tell you something, okay? You don't have to recruit, note the word recruit, a lot of people to build a large organization. You need to sponsor and teach people to duplicate and build a family of consumers. Now, if you don't know what it means to duplicate, it simply means that when you sponsor someone, you help them go 3 levels deep. Okay. Now, it's because people don't duplicate, it's the reason they cannot build a large business. If you haven't read my book already, Napkin Presentation 4 describes what your business should look like. It should look like the biggest building you've ever seen in your life, and that would represent huge income. But see, you cannot see the building and you cannot see the income until you do the foundation. And to do a big building, you've got to have a deep foundation. Well, if you don't duplicate and go deep, you'll never build a deep foundation. I'll give you an example of what's happening in the industry. A non-sales type will recruit a salesperson thinking they're going to get rich because they can bring in a lot of people, okay, which they can. In 6 months to a year, they can literally recruit, note the words recruit, 50 to 100 people. But at the end of the year, you look at their genealogy and they haven't duplicated themselves in one place. They might be 1 level deep in a few places, but 0 duplication. Now, what happens when you're not duplicating, you will get to the point where you're losing people faster than you can add them. So now they think there's something wrong with the company, the product, the marketing plan, their sponsor, whatever, but someone shows them another hot deal. So they're off to the races on the new hot program. Well, the person that recruited that person, they're seeing them move on and they're thinking, wow, if that person can't make it, how am I going to make it? And they end up quitting too. But this person, the salesperson, gets in his new program. Guess what happens in a year? Same thing. Starts losing people faster than he could add them, and now he's on to his next program. Now, you probably heard the definition of insanity. Okay, well, that's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, that's exactly what's happening now. If you run into people that have been in 2, 3, 4 different companies, okay, just tell them that they didn't fail in network marketing. You see, because they never did network marketing. They got in network marketing and did sales. And you're going to totally understand by the time I get through that sales does not work, period. I'll tell you a quick story about a guy by the name of Jimmy the Butcher Smith. He was a butcher for like about 42 years, had to retire because of a back injury. Now he got into network marketing. I said he loved network marketing, but he didn't do network marketing. He did sales. So in 10 years, he was in 10 different programs, never made hardly any money at all. He came across my training and he learned that we do not recruit people to sell, but we sponsor and teach people to duplicate. And of course, that's helping your people go 3 or more levels deep. Well, that he was 52 when he came across my material. When he was 70, he was already worth 35 million. And when he got to 92, he was worth like 90 million. And when I called to ask him to do a testimony for a new edition of my book coming out in Europe, he was so appreciative of what he had learned from me that he invited Nancy and I to go on a cruise out of New Orleans. We live in San Diego. Within 3 days, paid for the cruise, spent a week with him. It was a company cruise for him. He didn't spend 2 minutes the entire week talking about his vehicle, his company, product, and marketing plan. All he wanted to do was talk about the numbers, duplication, multiplication, and so forth. So anyway, another quick testimony, a guy by the name of Jordan Adler. in network marketing for 11 years. And he just couldn't sponsor anybody because he kept trying to recruit people to sell, and people do not want to sell. Okay. He found my book in a garage sale. He bought it for 25 cents, and the guy's now a multimillionaire. Now, 100% of the people in the world not in network marketing do not understand it. 80 to 90% of the people who are in it don't understand it. And you'd be amazed how many company owners don't understand it. Okay, and that's why my book now sold over 11 million copies, because when people read it, now they're starting to understand it. I'm going to give you a personal testimony. You know, I already told you that I started off by sponsoring 4 distributors, and that grew to 1,400,000. What I didn't tell you is that, you know, I am in a health company. A lot of you are in health companies, but over a period of 25 years with the company, okay, 25 years, I've only by accident sold one product, okay? Some people were visiting in my home. The product was on the counter in the kitchen. They saw it, asked what it was, and they wanted to buy it. So that is the only thing I've sold in 25 years. But my volume with my organization last month was over 13 million. Okay, I'll do over 150 million volume this year, which is more than 90% of the network marketing companies will do out there. And I did it by never, ever recruiting anybody to sell anything. I did it by sponsoring and teach people to duplicate. Now, I want to talk about your market. What that means is if you think you're recruiting people to sell health products, how many people can you really, talk to out there? Okay. Well, first of all, only 15% of the people in the world at any given point are either sick, hurt, or into health. Okay. And that actually breaks down to 8% of them are really into health. Now, anyone argue that? I say, measure the square footage of your health food stores in town and your supermarkets in town. You're not even going to have 8%. So you have a really small market. Now, you have a lot of competition because I already told you, 80, 90% of the people in network marketing don't understand it. And you've got 90% of those people out looking for the 8% that are into health and so forth. A lot of new companies starting up all the time, okay? And they all make the same mistake. They spend millions of dollars getting ready to launch a new holy grail of health product. And they make the same mistake. They get started to market the product. They recruit a sales manager. That's strange because we're not in sales, we're in network marketing. The person they recruit's never sponsored a person a day in their life, never built a business in network marketing. So why did they recruit a sales manager? Well, real simple. I already told you one reason is they don't understand network marketing. The other one, they recruit the sales manager to recruit people to sell. And folks, that doesn't work, and that'll be the cause of failure. In fact, virtually every company in the world right now, they get to a point where they get so big that they're losing people faster than they can add them. So most of the companies now are going down. People are leaving, and they leave and they take their people with them and so forth because they're not duplicating. So if these companies would start teaching the people how to duplicate, then that would solve that problem. Now, you have a small market, you have a lot of competition. Now, here's the worst problem, okay? 95% of the people want nothing to do with selling. In America, a few months ago, it was on our news. It said they were talking about this. They said only 4.7% of the people in America want anything to do with selling. I'll give you something to think about, okay? You got 90% of our industry looking for the 4.7% of the people in the industry that can't make it. Now, a salesperson, incidentally, could make it huge in network marketing. I mean, absolutely huge, but under 2 conditions. They got to quit thinking about sales, period. Okay, and then they've got to learn network marketing because they're different and they don't know that they're different. Okay, so anyway, you've got, Small market, a lot of competition, and nobody wants to sell. Now let's talk about activity. Had a Zoom training a few weeks ago. After the training, I asked the woman how many people she had in her downline, and she said she had 500. Okay, I said, well, that's pretty good. How many of those people are actually actively building your business? So I got really quiet for about 10, 15 seconds, and she said 10. Folks, that is common for the industry. The average activity for most companies in the industry is like 5%, okay? My activity for my organization is upwards of 30% because virtually everybody that's in my organization has read my book and they understand network marketing. See, to build a large business, there's only two elements, okay? First one, you've got your vehicle, which is your company, product, and marketing plan. You can have the hottest vehicle in the world, but if you don't know how to drive it, you're not going to go anywhere, okay? I'll give you a simple analogy. If you owned a brand new Lamborghini or Ferrari, now these are hot vehicles, would you let your best friend go for a drive around the block in it if they didn't know how to drive, okay? Well, my wife and I, we did seminars in over 35 different countries, asked probably over hundreds of thousands of people that question. 100% of the people said, no way would I let anybody drive my brand new Lamborghini or Ferrari if they didn't know how to drive. Now listen to what people are doing in our industry. Note the word recruit, people to sell, okay? And they'll spend days, weeks, and months teaching them, trying to get them to know how to sell their health products. And they, like I say, days, weeks, and months to do it. They don't spend 1 minute teaching them how to drive the vehicle, okay? So bottom line is that when I teach you, what I'm going to be teaching you here, how to do this, we have a market of 100%, okay? Because number one, we're not looking for people to sell anything, okay? And another reason, of course, that 95% of the people want something they don't already have. The people on the top, they already have everything. They'd like to live forever, so we say they can make great customers. So once you see what I'm teaching, you're going to be able to do in 3 to 5 years with our app, our system, and technology what took me 25 years to do. Okay, so bottom line, another analogy. When I get through teaching you the system, it's like I can hand you the key to the vehicle. You get in it today, you can actually start building your business today. Going down the freeway, sponsoring, teaching, building your business. And while you're building your business, know that you can learn all about it, the company, product, and marketing plan. People who think they're recruiting people to sell, it takes them, like I already said, days, weeks, months, and years, before people can even want to try to talk to someone. When we were doing those seminars in the 35 different countries, I always started off by asking the people, when you sponsor someone in your business, how much teaching time does it take you before your new person can sponsor someone? Can you teach them enough in an hour or two? No. How about 2, 3 days? No. Then I say, well, how many, have people with you 2, 3, and 4 months, and they still haven't sponsored anybody? Do you realize that over half the people in the room would raise their hand? So I say, well, you want to know why they haven't sponsored anybody? Because see, nobody taught them something that they can do. And that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to teach you something that you can do. I mean, it'll be like we can hand you the keys to the vehicle, you get in it right today and start building your business. Now, the people who are recruiting people to sell, okay, for them, it's like they have to lift up the hood, take the whole engine apart, put it back together again before they even think they can talk to someone. Now, there is a secret to this system, and that is that we teach people not to talk. See, the more you talk, more people think they can't do what you're doing. And the more you talk, the more they think they don't have time to do it. So let me show you how simple this is, okay? We have a hat that says own your life. And we have a pin we wear on our collar that says own your life, okay? Now, let's say you don't have the hat, you don't have, you get the hats made anywhere, okay? So you don't have the hat, you don't have the pin, and you're in a conversation with your friend or somebody you meet. Now, for the person you meet, don't even try to teach them what I'm telling you right now, teaching you until you've made a connection with them. Find out what they want, let them find out a little bit about yourself, get to know each other first. If you don't, you're wasting your time. Now, that is all I'm going to say about talking to strangers. Because once you see how simple this is and that anybody can do it, and they don't have to look for people to sell, you're not going to have to talk to strangers. You got more people to talk to than you'll ever know how to get to. Okay, now you're talking to a friend, and right in the middle of somewhere along the way in the conversation, you simply ask them, have you ever thought about what it would be like if you could own your life? Okay, that means having time, money, and health. Now, do you realize that most people don't know anyone that has all three, time, money, and health? Okay, see, young people, millennials, if they're making 60 to 100,000 a year, they have a little bit of money, but they don't have any time because their commute, their job, things they have to do, okay? So anyway, young people, they, wait a minute, I just backed up here. Yeah, young people, like I said, they have a little money and they're running out of time. Sorry, the older people, now they have a lot of time, but they're running out of money and their health's going bad, okay? So it's a simple question. Have you ever thought about what it would be like if you could own your life and have the time of your life with your friends and your family? See, so that's why you have to ask them. So what can they possibly say? They can say, only two possibilities. They say, Don, I just want to keep my stupid, dead end, boring job and work the rest of my life and end up broke. Most people are going to say, gee, that sounds interesting. Can you tell me more? Okay, now, I just finished the first step of a 3-step system. Folks, that took 1 minute. Do you realize that anybody could learn a 1-minute presentation? I mean, they get the recording of the Zoom training. They can listen to it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, whatever. They've got it. And if they can ever get it, they can write it down on a 3x5 card, let the person read it. So if you can do this 1-minute presentation, you can build a business. Because see, that's all you need to know to get started. Because now the tools are going to take over and do all the talking for you. Not some of the talking, all the talking. So anyway, they want to own their life. Okay, they're interested. You're talking to them on the phone, whatever. And you say, look, for you to be able to own your life, have time, money, and health, you need to understand network marketing. Okay, and you can tell them that 100% of the people in the world that are not in it don't understand it. 80–90% of the people in it don't understand it. And you'd be amazed how many company owners don't understand it. So for you to understand it, I'm going to send you the first 5 chapters of the best-selling book in the world on network marketing. And when you read those chapters, you're going to have a basic understanding of network marketing. And I'm going to send it to you by print or audio. How would you like to get it? Or maybe you'd like to have it both print and audio, okay? So anyway, why is audio so important, okay? Well, if you go to any town in the world and you look at the traffic, 90% of the vehicles have one person in them that probably hates their commute, that probably hates their job, going to be stuck in the job for 35, 40 years, end up broke, okay? They can change their whole life by taking their mobile device with them in their vehicle and listening to the 5 chapters while they're on their commute. Listen to them while you're fixing dinner, while you're jogging, exercising, walking your dog. All kinds of ways people can do something else and change your life by listening to 5 chapters. Okay, so now, before we had the app, people would buy my book and they would send it out to their person. Now, I want you to catch the cost of doing this because see, just buying the book isn't the total cost. Unless the post office is next door to you, you got to drive to the post office. Folks, I live in California. Gas is getting in some places up to $7 and $8 a gallon. Add that to the cost, plus your time has value. How much time did it take you to go to the post office, come home? You stand in line at the post office, you buy your stamps, you mail it to them. Now you wait 5 days for them to get it. So in 5 days, you call them and say, did you receive the book or the 5 chapters? They say they did. Have you read them? They say they did. They lie to you. You have no idea how many people will lie to you. Okay, it's called cooling off. From the time that you talk to them to the time they received it, in those 5 days, they've already lost interest. See, that can't happen now because with the app, while you're talking to them on the phone, you can send them the 5 chapters. So when you hang up, they have it right then, right there, right now. Okay. Now you're going to like this, that when they start to read the 5 chapters, you're going to get a ping on your mobile device letting you know they started to read them. Okay. Let's say they hang up before they finish the 5 chapters. You get another ping saying they partially read them. And when they finish reading them, you get another ping saying they finished reading them. Okay, how cool is that? You call them up in 20 minutes after they finish reading them. You don't have to ask them if they read it because you already know they did and you already know they're interested or they wouldn't have finished reading it. Okay, so here's the best part. But it would cost you less than what it would cost you to send out one book. You can send out unlimited first 5 chapters by print or audio or both to anywhere in the world, and the cost of doing it all included in the app, which is only $20 a month. Okay, that's it. Now, once the person has read the book, okay, now they're ready for the third step, and that's the app. You're going to see a demonstration from my partner, Jeff Romaldi. He'll be linking his phone to the computer, sharing the screen, and demonstrating, showing you exactly how you send it out. Now, it's a learning curve because see, once you've actually done it yourself 2, maybe 3 times, it's going to take you 20 seconds to send someone the 5 chapters, print or audio, to anywhere in the world. Compare that to the time it took you to go to the post office, okay? So now, there's a lot of different things that are on the app. I'll tell you about those here in just a minute, but in the meantime, I just want to kind of finish up this point. Once the person has gone through the app, they're now ready to see your vehicle. Send them your website, go to the, whatever you do to introduce somebody to your company. But if during the course of talking to them, they ask you, what are you selling or what's your company? If you tell them, you lose because they're going to go to Google and they're going to look up your company and they're going to see all your products and all your stuff, whatever you got. And they're going to think you're trying to sell them or get them to sell. And they shut you down right there. When people, if they were to ask me that, I simply say, if I were selling anything, it would be an opportunity for you to own your life. Okay, now let's think about how people used to do the business, lifting up the hood, taking the engine apart, taking days, weeks, and months, and so forth. Okay, my total talking time with the new prospect is between 4 and 10 minutes because the time of reading the book and looking at the app is their time, not my time. Anybody can learn to do that. That's how simple it is. Now, when a person gets the app, besides being able to send out unlimited first 5 chapters, they're going to get the entire book. Now, when I say to get the entire book, the book hasn't been updated in 36 years. And back when it was written, we didn't have technology, the system, apps, WhatsApp. So we didn't have any of that back then. So it's being totally updated. The new updated book is going to be ready, I would say, probably within a month now. Okay. And so when you get the app included in that price of $20 a month, you're going to get the entire new book in print and audio. Now, you cannot send out the entire book, only the first 5 chapters, but you will have it for yourself. We have a section called questions and answers, okay? Right now there's 25, and let's say you had a question that was not on the app, submit it to us and we will get it on the app. So eventually we'll have everything a person could ever think of on the app. Okay, now let's give you an example. You sponsor somebody and they sponsor someone who asks your person a question. Well, they're new, you don't have the answer. Well, what if you're out of town? How long does it take them to track you down to get the answer? See, now all they have to do is go to their mobile device and find the question and answer, and you can actually send that to them just like you can send them the book. And it has tracking, so you know when they looked at it and finished and so forth with that. So we're real excited to get that going. There's another thing that we don't have on the app right now is that like the training call that we're doing here this morning, we do this on Wednesday and Friday, translated into Polish. Okay, we're going to have on each of the major languages a couple of these Zoom trainings. So basically, when you're talking to someone, you could just go on your app, you know, pick out, it's your choice which one you want to send them. You can send them both, but you can send them the Zoom training. Then they can look at that even before they see the app. And that's all included there. And that also has tracking. So anyway, this thing is really coming together. We have a section called Nancy's Wisdom. 70% of the people in the world in network marketing are women, okay? So Nancy, about 6 months before she passed away, she did a Zoom training that the women absolutely love and the men like it too. And there are also some interviews that have been done with her. And we have some more content that'll be going in the new upgraded app. We have 3 podcasters, Tom Chenal, Simon Chen, and Peter Mingles, 3 of the more famous podcasters in America, have interviewed us, and those interviews are on the app. I already have another one scheduled with another podcaster. And in fact, Tom Chenal, after he finished his interview, that went out to 500 different radio stations. So anyway, a lot of good things happening. And one thing I do want to tell you now, the app we have now, you can write this down, faillalegacy.com. And when you look at it, I just want you to understand that that's our original app. The company that did it for us had 8 employees. They could not keep up with us. It would have taken us years to get the app in different languages. So we found another company out of Canada. It took us several months to find the right company, and they have 370 employees. They're already in 20 different countries. And let me tell you, right now, it takes 5 steps to make an app. And we've already paid for the first 4. The 4th step is almost finished. And once we finish the 5th step, we'll have the app in English, the base with the new totally upgraded app. Okay. So anyway, my suggestion is that you can use the app the way it is now. Okay. But when the new app comes out, you're going to want the new app. So when you go on the app at the very bottom to buy the app, it's like $15 a month. But if you pay for it annually, it's you get 2 free months. Average cost is $10. Well, granted, the new app's going to be 20, but you show me a business in the world where you can have an overhead of $20 to make millions, okay? So the app, do not buy the app annually, okay? because when the new app comes out, you're gonna want the new app, okay? They're two separate companies. Cancel the first one and get the new one. Now, if you happen to go annually, thinking you're saving a couple months, you're not gonna be able to cancel that. So make sure you do not get the new app, the old app, because you're gonna wanna go into the new app. And bottom line, once they have the English app done, that's the base, they will be able to add three new country every 3 months. And the first company on the list will be Polish, followed by German, and then Italian. And we already have Spanish and Vietnamese are all almost already done. And we have people already working on Chinese and Japanese. And if they get that war done, we'll get the app in Russian real quick. But anyway, the plan is to have the app in all the major languages. And see, a lot of companies are coming out with their own apps now. But when you look at them, they're all about the vehicle, the company, product, and marketing plan. I have the only app in the world that teaches people how to drive, okay? And we don't have any competition. Nobody else in the world has got a book that sold 11 million copies, and nobody else also has done seminars, 35 different countries. I'll give you a quick example on the seminars that we did. Many years ago, we did a seminar in Kiev in the Ukraine. We had 1,500 people at the seminar. After the seminar, we autographed at least 12 different black market versions of my book. Never made a penny in royalty from that, but they made us so famous in Russia that we got 2 seminars in Moscow with 2,000 people each. Another one in St. Petersburg with 10,000, and another one in Kazan, second largest city, with 6,500. Now, a Russian company had us in Cancun, Mexico for a week with 800 leaders, 200 from Vietnam, and that led to a seminar in Vietnam that had 4,500. Done seminars in Indonesia with 6,500. I've done 4 separate tours of Japan. So anyway, we got the only app in the world that'll do this, and we're excited to get this thing out, as soon as possible. Now, I said I would teach you how to do in 3 to 5 years what took me 25 years to do, okay? It all has to do with one word, and that is time. See, back before we had the app, the system, and technology and so forth, people would have sizzle sessions in restaurants, okay? Now, granted, we couldn't do that in California. All our restaurants were closed for over a year. But before that even got closed, we evolved to not doing that anymore, doing things here on Zoom. But look at how a sizzle session worked. People would drive 3 to 12 hours to get to a restaurant in 3 to 12 different directions, taking maybe 15 minutes to an hour to get there, an hour and a half in the sizzle session, or maybe longer. Some people wouldn't get home till 10, 11 o'clock at night, okay? Well, back in those days, of course, the spouse is home taking care of the children. And I'll guarantee you, if you were to be gone more than one night a week doing this, you were in trouble with your spouse, okay? So now we don't have to do that anymore. Can you imagine if everybody in your downline did one sizzle session every day? I do anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5 a day. My partner, Jeff Grimaldi, who does the demonstration on how to do the app, he does more than that, okay? You couldn't do that back in those days. So anyway, we got a lot more time now, and so we can do more. Now, because the book was written so long ago, we stopped at 5, because once you sponsored 5 people, if you were duplicating, okay, you didn't have time to work with more than 5 legs. You're too busy, okay? Now, because you have more time, once you have your 5 legs, add another one, okay? Help that person start duplicating, and then add another one, and take it out to a base of 10 legs, okay? Now, let me tell you, once you have 10 active legs, You could go the rest of your life and never sponsor another person ever again. Just help the people with their people, et cetera, down the line. Write down, you can do this after we get off the call, top of the paper, put you on the right side and put down you sponsor your 5, help them get 5, you got 25, and it goes to 125, 625, 3,125, 15,625, 78,125. Okay, easy, 5 to multiply down 6 levels. Now, next to it, with room to put something between it, put down 10 next to the 5, and notice the difference is 5. But watch what happens when 10 gets 10, it's 100 next to 25, so the difference is 75. When the 100 get 10, that's 1,000 next to 125. Now the difference is 875, okay? Take that, you'll learn more if you do it yourself. So take that out to 6 levels and you'll see exactly why you're gonna be able to do in 3 to 5 years now what took me 25 years to do. Okay, now, just for the fun of it, Adriana,
We can stop the recording.
can you believe that I just taught them everything they need to know in 30 minutes? And it's been
We know that, but I don't know if they are so sure about this.
well, we're going to do the questions and answers after we tell.
Okay, wait, I will stop the recording. Wait, and we can make a photo, yeah?